Hello, my friend. Welcome to English Vids.
My name is Rachel, and I'm 25 years old. I never thought I would be sitting here wondering about my life, my choices, and the way everything has turned out. But sometimes life doesn't go the way you want, and that's exactly what happened to me. I grew up in a small town where everyone knew each other. My family is very traditional, and they always taught me to respect them and follow their advice. My parents are good people, but sometimes I think they care more about what society thinks than what I feel. When I was young, I had big dreams. I wanted to travel the world, study architecture, and live in a big city. But things changed when I turned 23. My parents started talking about marriage. At first, it was just small comments during dinner or when we visited relatives. "Rachel, you're not getting any younger," my mother would say. Or, "It's time to think seriously about your future." I didn't feel ready to get married. I didn't even have a boyfriend at the time. But in my town, a girl of my age is expected to marry soon. People begin to wonder if there's something wrong with her, if she stays single for too long. Then, one day, my father told me about James. He is 30 years old, works in finance, and comes from a good family. James's parents are friends with mine, so they thought he would be a good match for me. My father said James was serious, responsible, and financially stable. The perfect husband. I met James for the first time at a dinner arranged by our families. He was polite and kind, but I didn't feel any connection with him. He wasn't the kind of man I wanted to marry. He didn't make me laugh, he didn't challenge me, and he didn't share any of my dreams. I told my parents I wasn't interested, but they insisted. My mother even cried, saying I was being stubborn and ungrateful. I felt trapped. They told me that life would be easier with James. They said he would take care of me and I would never have to worry about money or stability. I wanted to make them happy, so I said yes. We got married 6 months later. The wedding was beautiful, and everyone congratulated us. But deep inside, I felt empty. Even as I smiled for the cameras and talked to the guests, I couldn't stop the sadness I felt in my heart. At first, I tried to make the best of my marriage. I thought maybe I would learn to love James. I tried to be a good wife. I cooked, cleaned, and made sure he was happy. He always came home late from work, but he was polite and respectful. He didn't shout or act badly toward me, but he was distant. I didn't feel like his wife. I felt like his roommate. We rarely talked about anything personal or meaningful. Sometimes I talked to him about books I was reading or places I wanted to visit. But he wasn't interested. His answers were always short, and he never asked me questions in return. It felt like he didn't care about who I was or what I wanted from life. After 2 years of marriage, I feel like things are worse now than they were at the beginning. James and I don't fight, but we also don't laugh or share anything meaningful. We live in the same house, eat dinner together, and sleep in the same bed. But it feels like there is a wall between us. The silence is heavy, and it makes me feel lonely, even though I am not alone. I sometimes wonder if James feels the same way. Does he regret marrying me? Does he feel empty too? but I never ask him these questions. I'm afraid to hear his answers. One day, I decided to talk to my mother about how I feel. I thought maybe she would understand or give me advice. But when I told her, she just said, "Marriage is not about love, Rachel. It's about stability and respect. Love will come later." But I don't believe her anymore. It's been 2 years, and I still don't love James. I don't respect him either, not because he's a bad person, but because he never tries to make things better. He never asks me about my feelings, dreams, or even my favorite color. How can I respect someone who doesn't care about who I really am? Sometimes I think about leaving James and starting over. I dream about traveling to places I've always wanted to see. I want to go to Paris and walk along the Seine River. I want to visit Japan and see cherry blossom trees. I want to study architecture and design beautiful buildings that can change the world. But these are just dreams, dreams that live in my mind, not in my real life. I feel like I can't leave James because people will talk about me. They will say I'm selfish or that I couldn't handle marriage. My parents will be disappointed, and my mother will probably cry again. So I stay. Every morning I wake up and tell myself to keep going. I push my thoughts and feelings away. I do what society expects from me. I cook dinner, clean the house, and smile when people visit. I act like life is good, but inside, it hurts. I know it's my fault. I agreed to marry James, even though I didn't love him. I let my parents' opinions control my choices. And now, I don't know how to change things. Sometimes, I think about the future. Will I spend the rest of my life feeling trapped? What will happen when we have children? I'm afraid that I will become a bitter person, someone who regrets everything but never does anything about it. I don't want to live like this, but I don't have the courage to change. All I can do now is hope for something to change, even if I don't know what. Maybe James will realize how distant we are and try to fix things. Maybe I will finally be brave enough to leave, or maybe I will spend the rest of my life pretending to be happy. This is my story, and I don't know how it will end.